Oh, yeah, that's gonna look great. Okay. Oh, I'm hungry. Hello, and welcome to Live from My Watch. I'm Stephen Biller, also known as StonerSteve. Oh, alright. I just had so much that I wanted to talk about that I thought, let's start recording, you know? Let's just jump into it. My producer is asking me not to clear my throat directly into the microphone, which I guess I understand. That may not be so pleasant. So, today, what is our topic? Today our topic is we're returning to an old topic that I think we kind of covered a little bit in a previous episode. It's in my notes. They're telling me it's in my notes. I don't see it, but that's okay. Timelines, time travel. That's today's topic. And we're going to jump into it right after this message from our sponsors. Today's show is brought to you in part by And now back to the show. So time, Time. I was doing some meditating this morning. Give me a moment here to rearrange my desk. Okay, that's not half bad. Okay. Well, I've got my desk rearranged. I think everything looks nice. And let's do something. You'll have to excuse this view of my kitchen for people in the video. Boom boom doo 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 doo. Boom boom doo 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 doo. Sorry about that glitch there. Yeah, I feel like we've been having some issues with our airwaves lately. It was some kind of cat planet last week, and then this week it was like a different timeline, a different dimension of me standing in a kitchen. Interesting. And right on topic. So a few episodes back I talked about an experience I had while meditating. Roll your eyes if that's something that you're still learning about. Meditation. It's just a different form of prayer, really. But it could be a lot of things. That's just what it is for me. So I was meditating this morning. Also, I don't mean to appropriate anyone's culture. Meditation has been around for a very long time, and actually holds meaning and history for billions of people. So I don't mean to appropriate that. I use meditate because it feels closer to a description. Just a minute, darling. It feels closer to a description of what I do. How I take time to be thoughtful, to self-reflect, and to meditate, to pray. But see, there's another part of the population, another culture that would be offended that I said pray. Because they wouldn't think that what I do is praying. So, I am not using the complexity of the situation as an excuse. I'm simply apologizing if it came across that way, but my intent, language, it's something that's made by people. It's malleable. It can be changed. And it should be changed. I'm a believer in a concept I recently learned, popular use for words, for language. And it's where the popular meaning is accepted as an additional meaning or the new meaning of a word. Because what good is it to have words that don't relate to our lives? They're meant to help us communicate. So, if the meaning is so lost in history and you have to read, click on 4 different Google links to get to an understanding of the word, then maybe it's good for some situations where you need a very specific word. Let's say, essay, medical journal, or literary journal or something. But for everyday language, popular use, popular use. So meditate is the closest word that I have yet found to describe my sort of the quiet practices of my spirituality, of my religion, where I explore my spirituality. So I was meditating, or what I call meditating, walking around. In this instance, it was a walking around, free thinking exercise. Yes, would you like to go out? My cat was asking to go out. The birds are very active today, and she's enjoying. I was letting my cat out. She likes looking at the birds. She doesn't catch them, though. Just watches. So I was meditating, and I had but I thought it was a pretty cool experience, and it helped me to kind of better understand that what it means that each person is different. It's something that we all say or have heard. I'm sure everybody's different, everybody's unique. But I think for me it was always a little hard to understand that, because the way that I understood culture, society, and Christianity, a religion, but the way I understood it was that there was perfection, and we could achieve it if we worked for it. If we worked hard enough. Sacrificed enough, or humble enough, learned enough, whatever, but it was this sort of, and I don't think it's just me. I feel like society, our culture, we tend to look for equality in uniformity. Make everybody the same. Make everything the same, And it always leaves somebody out. It always leaves somebody out. And I'm, there's a whole genre of dystopian lit, for young adults, but it's it's great for grown-ups too. I've enjoyed like Hunger Games as an adult, and those books are important because they help to explain what happens when most of the people in society are happy. When most of the people in society are happy, there's a few people that are left out, man. And by a few, when we're looking at a culture of 1 billion people, over 1 billion people, the left out, the others, are in the millions. It's not like 1 or 2 people, Thousands, at least, tens of thousands. And so that was a big jump, wasn't it? Tens of thousands to millions. Now, it depends on what minority group, what otherness we are talking about here, of course. And how broad of a term are we using? Are we talking anything, religion, are you talking Christianity, a broad term, or are you talking about Southern Baptist specific, It's, words are funny that way. Because both are true, Both are true. You say someone is, I see the signal, we're going to break, but I just want to finish this thought real quick. We see someone as a student. I'm a student. There's a lot of students. I'm a student at college. That narrows it down a little bit. I'm a student at a specific college. That narrows it down even more. I'm a student at this specific college who's going online. And finally, who's getting an English literature degree. And so all of those were true descriptors of me. But they put me into a smaller and smaller and smaller group, a smaller minority. And eventually, you can keep taking it down, and you can go a few different ways. You could continue from, an online student at this specific college who's getting an English literature degree who is a Christian, or who is white, or, who has brown eyes. You know, you could go any direction and take this and keep going. But eventually you're always going to get down to the smallest minority, which is one, which is each of us individually are part of our own minority subculture. There is a word for it. I can't remember what that word is. And here it is. A word that is hard to remember because it has a specific meaning, but when you need it, you need it. And I know there's a word for this situation, and I can't remember what it was. But there's the concept. And now we can go to break. Thank you for waiting. Okay. We'll be right back. Would you like to come with me? Here we are. So in case you couldn't tell, the video part of this whole endeavor is kind of a behind the scenes almost. For the podcast that I'm recording on my wristwatch. Smartwatch, wristwatch, 100 years old, which is fine. I mean, that'd be amazing. Honestly, it'd be more impressive that I was doing all of this. Yes, okay. This video, it's kind of like the behind the scenes. I'm recording a podcast on my smartwatch. Pretty sure the internet's only podcast recorder on a smartwatch that I can find. If you're out there, hit me up, because we need to start like a network or something. Or a Facebook group at least. But yeah. So when I'm doing the podcast, I actually do have like a concept for this sort of, live show that has like producers and camera people and writing staff, this like live comedy show, and it's supposed to be very whimsical and sort of like avant-garde and like variety acts and fake commercial spots and excuse me, did you hear that? I am so hungry, it's crazy. I don't usually eat until 2, but I guess I'm needing it today. I had my juice, but so anyways, now I'm gonna head to hair and makeup before we get back to the show. Hair and makeup said you could come with me, so let's go. First, no hair. So that's a lie. I get very dry eyes. Oh, it looks like a tragic film now. No, not really. I am honestly just waking up, so I don't look great. But the blinding white light helps. And then a hat, and then suddenly ready for a show. I should put my glasses on though. So that's me. I think I'm a little more freshened up. I think we're ready to go. We can finish up this podcast. What do you guys think of this behind the scenes? Like, drop me a comment, and let me know what you think. Do you like it? Are you digging it? It's just supposed to be fun, guys. It's not serious, dude. Oh, man. Thanks for the subscribers, okay? You guys are coming in. I see you, and I appreciate you. Okay. Have you ever noticed that people who aren't really into movies... Ooh, this should be on the podcast. Wait a minute. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Bad Movie Lovers. The Bad Movie Lovers Club sends you a hand-picked bad movie every month for the small, low fee of $666,000 annually. And now back to the show. I think I need to pay my writers more. Have you ever noticed, though, people that don't like movies, that just aren't into movies, their reference is always a bad movie. It's like always a bad movie, like Dr. Zhivago, or what was the one I heard the other day? Good Morning Vietnam? Yeah. Old 80s movie, like, you don't even know it, do you? Yeah, nobody remembers. Did have Robin Williams in it, though. Yeah, surprisingly. But it's always like the movie that, like, movie fans, movie buffs are like, oh, yeah, forgot about that movie. Or like Dr. Zhivago that I had never even heard of or watched until recently. Pretty epic, but the understanding of socialism is very misguided. Let's say. Yeah, but I'm wondering, maybe it's because, like, people that don't like movies, they saw the bad movie and then they were like, oh, if that's what I have to get through to find the good stuff, it's not worth it. And I get that, because there are things that I've tried and I'm like, nope, I really love the end product. Like knitting looks so satisfying, but it was taking me so long to learn it. I just had to give it up. I was like, nope, I can't. This is too confusing. Maybe I will pick it up again in the future, but for now, yeah, I think I still remember when I tried it a decade ago, and it's just like, I can't right now. But I respect it, and I really dig when people are just out doing it. And I love that millennials and younger gen, like Gen Z, have like brought back some of those crafts because they're so important, and I love them and I support them. But yeah, I get it. I get the things that it's like, it's just not worth it to get through it, to do it. And if it's watching movies or, for some people it's probably reading books or listening to music, it's like, it's just not their thing, and but that's, here it is. This is our topic for the day, because what I'm trying to talk about here, no one's stopping me, is timelines, is realities. Each of these little cultures of people that like film, or like, and that are readers, or listen to music, that's their vibe, or I'm a little bit of everything, I like a little bit of all of it, but each of these little cultures, for me, I'm interested in a little bit of all of it. So I know a little bit about like film culture, and how films are made, and the sort of pinnacle films of certain genres, or certain movements. I get that. yeah, I wrote a film review that my professor called one of the best she'd ever read. So, you know, unfortunately, she couldn't read. What? That's not a joke. That's not a joke. Guys, come on. I need better jokes. I just read what's on the prompter, man. Anyways. Where were we? Yeah, so when I'm looking in the film, when I'm like looking at stuff from like a film angle, you know, that's one reality. That's one reality and one way I see the world. But when I'm looking at stuff from like a literary perspective and literary references, that's a reality, a way that I'm seeing the world. You know, if I'm funneling everything through John Lennon lyrics, ooh, who would do that? But I mean, you know, no, I'm just kidding. You know, I respect. I just don't worship. Um, but yeah, if I'm funneling everything, you know, through, you know, Led Zeppelin lyrics, what would that world look like? I need to listen to more Led. Ooh, my shoulder popped. Did you hear that? Felt good. But yeah. You know, that's a reality that you're a way you're looking at the world through those lens, through that lens. You know. Can you relate to that? Is that something that you also experience? I'd be curious to know. Drop it in the comments. Let's have a discussion. This connects to what we were talking about earlier about how each of us is the smallest minority. And the fact that the group that you are associating with is giving, like the group that whatever I associate with, it's giving me a mindset to understand the world through. Whether that's me as a student, as a college student, as an English literature major, whatever way I want to view the world through, whatever group I want to put myself in, it gives me a framework, a perspective, a reality. Let's try that again. It gives me, let's see, a framework, a perspective. Now, see, this is where some people would say it shapes my view of reality. They would see reality as existing, as a permanent thing that exists, and we all just look at it and have a perspective. But I don't know. I don't know. Because you sit and you have a discussion with someone, and they can believe something so much that they can't see another point of view, another way of looking at the world. Even though I may have a totally different belief, view, you know, that is arguably just as strong. You know, I just try to have an understanding because I came from one culture that I didn't fit into so well, and I've had to like kind of make my own culture, subculture, and so I kind of get it. I get whenever the different ways of looking at things. I've been forced into being an empath. Now there is a YA novel, forced into being an empath. You'd have to bring magic into it. That'd be great. And there'd be some kind of like long distance love story to keep it chaste, you know. Until like maybe the last book. Yeah. Oh, it's a series now. Yeah, this is pretty good. Hey, if anybody wants to write it. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not sure that reality exists as a thing independent on its own. I, I really am starting to understand the concept of each person as a universe unto themselves. And I need to do some more reading in actual, like, real philosophical text and religious text, and just sort of see what the Bible and others have to say on this subject. But this is it's yeah, it's definitely a more Eastern influenced way of looking at things, which is coming from the inside out, sort of us looking up at God as opposed to God looking down at us, which is, I think I understand that the Western more is typically the Western tradition of religion is more that way. But I don't know how folk religions fit into that. We shall have to see, like early Celtic religions and that sort of thing, more natural practices. But yeah, I think they're a separate thing. So ancient, predating sort of these organized understandings that shape our reality, that give us a timeline. And it's more than that. It's commercial break. We'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you in part by nice cold water. Is your throat parched? And now back to the show. Was that a paying sponsor? I don't know. Arm stretch time. Ha-chow. Ha-ka-chow. Wow. Pow. Hello and welcome back. Okay, the producer is telling me it is wrap-up time. Today we jumped through timelines and explored different realities through perspective and association. The practical application of what we've talked about today is that if you are having a hard time, you can change your reality. And it starts with perspective. I know it sounds feel good, it sounds new age, it sounds unhelpful. It's like, that won't pay the bills. I know. And this is why this is a comedy podcast and not an advice podcast. And I'm really just talking about things that I'm doing in my life that I am finding useful or am finding success with. And you take it as you will, because everyone is different, which is the moral of the story. But for those that it's making sense, start with your perspective. If you are feeling upset about something, consider why. Consider what is influencing your perspective that's leading you to have this emotion. That's just being responsible, bro. Responsible for yourself, your actions, and your mental health, because it's your responsibility first. But don't be afraid to ask for help. I know, it's hard. But I'm here for you. Drop a comment, drop a heart if you're going through a time, We got this together, right? We got this together. This was the 10th episode of Live from My Watch. Yeah! Can you believe it? I can't believe it. 10 episodes, 10 weeks, launched video halfway through, and she's going strong, and we never have issues with memory being filled up or anything like that. Alright, I've been Stephen Biller. All the links are in the description. You know what to do. StonerSteve here. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.